Wild and crazy and awesome story, but I promise you, you're gonna leave here a little smarter and a lot more inspired tonight. And so, please, I've known her for 6 years. I still don't try to say her last name. Just welcome Arezou. Everybody, give her a round of applause. Do you want to pronounce your last name? Because I'm Texan. I literally can't do it. I can't form it in my mouth.
Zarafshan.
That's because like Zaraf, I can't do it. It's just I've got
Everybody tried though.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
I've been called a lot of things, so it's all good.
I have a Texas speech impediment, which is I can't do it. So I want to start the conversation. I'm so sorry, Mr. Anthony Franco. Everybody, give him a round of applause.
You already introduced me.
We kind of did. But I want to start with your backstory because where you came from, I think, colors who you are today. So just way earlier than normally we start this, tell me where you grew up and how you ended up here in the United States.
Yeah. So hi everyone. I'm Arezou. Hi Amanda. Nice. Thank you for being here, you all. My backstory. So I was born and raised in Iran. It's a country you hear a lot about these days, right? I was born during the time that, the good times, like we had a stable government, stable democracy, best allies with the United States, all good. But in '79, there was a revolution and the system of the government changed from a monarchy, parliamentary monarchy, to a theocracy, the Islamic Republic. And so, you know, all of the rights that women had prior to the revolution overnight was stripped away. And so we all had to cover up when we went to school, cover up our hair, cover up our, you know, had to wear these gowns. Then there was like an 8-year war that, you know, we all survived. And so in 1990, I emigrated to the US to go to school. While I could have gone to university in Iran, as a woman, I wouldn't have a future. And so it was always the plan for me after the revolution for me to migrate to the US.
And this is, again, because I know so much of your backstory, I'm going to ask some very deeply personal questions, and you have the right to tell me that you don't want to answer them. But you grew up in a religious household where your dad and mom were two different religions, right? And
we were actually very secular in our household, but yes, my dad was a Muslim, which was the religion of the sanctioned religion in Iran. If you were a Muslim, still, if you're a Muslim, you're good. Well, no, Shia Muslim, not Sunni Muslim, because they're different sects. So my dad was a Shia Muslim. My mom is a Baha'i. I don't know if anybody knows that, but that's a young religion. It's 200 years old, and from the Shia Muslim perspective, especially that is practiced in Iran, if you are anything but a Muslim, you are an infidel, and so you don't deserve to exist. And so my mom was, you know, stripped out of all of her. So at the time of the revolution, my dad was a colonel. My mom was the deputy prime minister of higher education. And her job was actually to work with global universities and pave the path for the Persian Iranian students to go abroad and get a higher education. That was what my mom did. And so one day, right after the revolution, she stepped into the elevator. She went to the office, she stepped into the elevator, and there was a sign, there was a handwritten note in the elevator saying, if your name is on this list, don't come to work because you're fired. So my mom was on that list. And so from her, from her position where she is,
Smart, powerful, successful woman.
yeah, very, influential, she became completely stripped out of all of her professional identity. And because she was not a Muslim, she couldn't even be on the radar because she would risk her life. So, yes, that's...
I think there's a couple of points there, and I think you illustrated it beautifully, which is, get it to some of your passion. But I want to just ask you a couple more questions about growing up in Iran, because you and I have had this conversation before, and it's always been incredibly inspiring to talk about your move to the United States and how you think about the U.S. and our business climate and our market. But I want you to set the scene by talking about the environment you were in when you were going to high school. You were smart, you were making great grades. You were always telling me, like, you didn't talk about boys, you just talked about making good grades. Like, nerds.
But it was cool to be a nerd. That was the thing.
Because
there's nothing else.
Exactly, right.
That's what you do.
Right.
Yeah. Y'all, I will say this, it was dire. So I'm not here to tell you that, we went to the pool and to the river during summer. No, it was dire. But we all figured out how to make it work, right? We all figured out how to persevere, make great friends. My best friends are from the time that I was growing up in Iran, and they're here in the United States now. But, I developed, because in Iran, and still to this day, women are considered second-class citizens. In the Constitution, women do not have the same rights as men do, constitutionally recognized. A testimony by a woman, by law, is worth half of a man. So if you go to the court to testify about something, there has to be two women to counter to be equal to one man. I mean, it's bizarre, it's crazy. It was dire.
I don't want to paint an overly dark picture here, because there is light coming, I promise.
Yeah.
No wonder nobody shows up.
I know,
Jesus.
everybody is like...
Everybody's it's like, God. But it was dangerous.
Yeah.
It was dangerous for you.
Yeah.
And you had to be very cautious about how you showed up in the world.
Yes.
Explain.
Well, saying not covering your hair, fully could jeopardize your life, literally. And many of you have probably heard, 2 years ago, there was a young woman that got murdered because she wasn't properly dressed. No, she was dressed. She was fine, but anyways, so not properly dressed, saying the wrong thing, because there were spies everywhere, right? So if somebody heard that you were not pro-government, pro-whatever, that could risk your life. There's one story I haven't told you. I won't say it here, but going to a co-ed party could risk your life. Going to listen to music, listening to music was tabooed. It has changed now, but 20, 30 years ago when I was there, yes, living was risky.
Yeah. It's just, I think it's because, again, I even sent out on the message to the group, is I think your story is about courage. And I think that there's so much courage in your story, but I wanted to make sure that we didn't skip over the dark shit.
Yeah. And so just to make it a little funny, the dark shit,
Yeah.
right? So we are all concerned now about privacy and security, and Trump having what's his name? Elon Musk
Yeah.
having access to all of that. I'm like, you all have no idea. You have no idea
Right.
what it's like to be under surveillance 24/7. And so, like, I give you an example. Like, there was a time that, you know, we were talking to a relative that was in the United States, and, you know, you're talking on the phone, very expensive phone calls, you know, to make it through, et cetera. And we're talking for 5 minutes, and you're discussing whether I should move to the United States or not, which in and of itself is a risky topic.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you hear a third person coming in and
No,
weighing
you
in.
definitely
Yeah,
shouldn't.
yeah.
Really?
It's like,
the
no.
old party lines.
Stay back, miss. What are you doing? Why are you thinking about the United States? Your country is great. Just stay where you're at. Like,
On the phone?
On the phone.
God, that's amazing.
On the phone. On the phone. And so, you know, that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
Like, you all are worried about Elon Musk looking at your tax record.
You're like, I get you, Elon, right here. Right. You want to see my tax record? Go right ahead. Like, yeah.
I know. I
Right.
mean, my husband is one, like, he's like so scared of everything. I'm like, you have no idea. You have no idea. I mean, not to discount what is going on and what everybody is concerned about, but everything is relative.
Yeah, so I promise, you know, we can move on from this point. I just wanted to set the stage because this is non-trivial stuff.
No.
Like, it was dangerous, and you figured out a way to get out of that environment. Your mom and dad stay back?
No,
First.
she's here.
Your mom came? And your dad came too, right?
Yeah.
And was it hard to get out? Was it hard for them to move? Or
Yeah. Yeah. My dad,
because he was a colonel.
he was a colonel.
in the military.
Yeah. So he was, his right to leave the country was taken away when the revolution happened. So he had to fight for 8 years to be able to get a passport. And I remember, because that trip when we all came out because we had applied for U.S. residency. And, you know, we had to wait 8 years for my dad to get a passport, for all of us to get, because without his passport, we couldn't leave, right? And I remember when we were sitting on the plane, waiting for the flight to take off, and I was 16 years old at the time. And I remember my dad's face. The plane was still on the runway, had not started taxiing. My dad's face, just you could see all the stresses of the world. And while the plane is still waiting, they're calling people one at a time, and they're taking them off the plane, basically deplaning a few people.
Jesus.
Because these people, even though they had the, you know, passport, for whatever reason, government decided that they're not able to leave. So they would take them off the plane. They did not call my dad. And when the plane, you know, took off, you know, we were able to come.
What a dramatic moment, though.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Anthony, why don't you come down to Denver Founders? Tell some jokes. Thanks a lot.
Keep it light.
Sorry,
Yes.
Paul.
No, it's
I mean-
because the point of this story is, and like I said, I promise that we can move on
Yeah.
from this stuff, which is you come to the U.S. You're 16. You don't speak English?
18.
18.
Yeah.
You speak English? No, okay. So
Not really.
get thrown into high school at this point?
No,
You
university.
go straight to university. Okay, go to university. You
You
start.
went to university. You went to college barely knowing English.
Correct.
I barely knew English. I'm from Texas, exactly. I didn't. But it turns out Colorado State's not a requirement.
Conjugate y'all.
You can conjugate y'all. So Colorado State, you didn't need to know English to get in there. So you show up at college. You're very smart, but language barriers.
Oh,
Talk
yeah,
about that
totally.
experience.
You know, because of the way I grew up, it was not a matter of, I have this challenge, I have this difficulty, I don't know, I'm lonely, blah, blah. I mean, it was very lonely. It was
I would like you to have a conversation with my freshman college son.
it's like, make it work. Make it work.
Was it? Describe how you felt in college compared to how it felt in Iran? For you, like, was it a lot less stressful? How was your anxiety level in comparison?
It was not a lot less stressful.
Wow.
I mean, it was not a lot more. I mean, how do I say it? It's different kind of stress. So I left everything I knew at 18, and I, landed in Seattle, got onto a Greyhound bus, went to Pullman, Washington State University, and I didn't know anything. Like, I didn't know anything. I didn't know the system. I didn't know how to sign up for classes. I didn't know how to interact with people. I had a very, very hostile persona because I had learned not to trust anybody. And so I wasn't approachable. And I was lonely. And the people that I knew, the friends that I had, I'd left all of them behind. And this party, remember I told you, where I grew up, it was books. You study, that's what you do. And then I'd go to college.
Like, woo!
Yeah. I'm like, what's the obsession with all this drinking? Why,
Right.
what's all this? So it was lonely. It was very lonely. So the stress, it was, again, literally a culture shock. The stress was about me being thrown from everything I knew, even though it was hostile and, hostile, into something that was very loving and kind, but it was unknown.
Yeah, very, very foreign.
Very foreign.
Right. Here's the thing I think is interesting, and this is part of the narrative that I just want to hit on, which is, you just said it, but I want to go back to it. You didn't feel sorry for yourself.
No.
Like, you're like, all right, here we go. Let's buckle up. I'm going to figure this out too.
Yeah. I remember, talking about English. So I, the freshman years, there were those 400-person classes that you take. So I had, Math 101 or 201, whatever it was, calculus. And I always sat in the front row because I wanted to be able to really pay attention to what the professor was saying. So at this 400-person auditorium, the prof, put a problem on the board and said, who knows the answer to this? And I did. But, nobody else was raising their hand, so I finally raised my hand. And so he asked, okay, what's the answer? And I gave him the answer. I could do that. I could say the number, or I could say the formula. That's okay. But then he asked, well, how did you arrive at that? Now I had to explain in my broken English. So I said how I arrived at that in broken English. And just imagine, once I finished, 400 people burst into laughter. Because, no, it was fine. They weren't making fun of me. It was funny. It was funny. Maybe if I were in the audience, maybe I would laugh too. It was cute. It was funny.
Anthony would have dick.
Yeah. 400 people.
So glad I'm here.
But I was right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's like, make it work. Make it work.
So you go through college, things get a little bit better through college. And then this is where I think it starts to get really interesting, because you start in a corporate job, and your first job out of college is what?
An electrical engineer with Hewlett-Packard.
Hewlett-Packard, right? And it actually comes into play because we were talking to Mike about HP and about how you ended up at a place that was great for you. Why?
Sure. At HP, because first of all, I was surrounded by all ages, diversity in ages, right? So it wasn't all just college students. And I just learned about kindness and love and acceptance and safety, And it was modeled to me. Not that somebody sat me down and showed me how to do it. It's just I was so shocked how loving and accepting and welcoming the environment was. And so I didn't have to be on my guard.
Yeah.
I didn't have to distrust.
Was that the first time when you started to be like, what I know is Arezou, like you started to be like, okay,
Yeah.
I can let myself and my strength and my power show up.
Yeah.
What a cool place
What a cool place.
embraced that.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
Okay.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about your journey there, because this is where I think, and this is why I wanted to go so deep, is that in your early days, because you're fierce, man. Like you fight for what is right. And you started then. It was not, you weren't that old when you started to make waves at HP, right?
No. Yeah.
Explain.
Gosh, so I joined HP, literally HP hired me before I graduated. And then I finished my last year in college while I was working for them. And then within 3 years, I got promoted. And
That's
again,
fast at HP.
It's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's fast at any company, because at that point you're like, what, 24 or 25, something like that?
25, yeah. And I excelled from that very fast, from there. And I learned how to take risks, how to, again, that safety, that I could take risk, I could say something that's stupid and nobody will, and it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I could suggest initiatives and people would get behind it.
Yeah.
It was the place, it was the stepping stone that I learned how to fly.
But the other piece of this is that it wasn't like you were high flying at this point in your career. You're starting to grow, but it wasn't just about you. Like you immediately started advocating. Like you started.
Correct. One of the things that I noticed at HP, was that there are not a lot of women in positions of influence, in leadership positions, and those that were there, the women that were there in leadership positions had been there for decades, right? And so there wasn't room for the young talent to get up there and shine. And so I decided, well, why not create a women leadership group in HP? And I had a couple of friends and we talked about it, and they were like, yeah, this is a good idea. Let's just see who wants to go to lunch. And so I started that leadership group at HP, and by the time I left, it still actually exists. It had become a ERG, which is Employee Resource Group, that was funded by corporate, and yeah.
And I mean, this is something you don't talk about, but in that environment alone, you helped change the culture of HP, where more women started to get promoted.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And you started
Very
that.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And again, you're humble, so you don't talk about it. I want to go one more thing before we talk about sort of the rest of your journey and your founder journey is, I think one of the things, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this and why I wanted to juxtapose, is that it's a difficult time for many people in the U.S. right now. Like they're feeling not safe, and they're feeling like it's a tough time. I'm setting you up because I've had the conversation with you, but tell me your thoughts on this country. Tell me your thoughts on the business climate, on our political environment. Just give me your feel. And again, it's a softball because I know the answer. But I want to get it on the record. I want you guys to hear it.
I will say that. I will say this, disclosing you all that I did not vote for President Trump. That said, I absolutely love this country. I do. I love this country. This is the place that gave me safety, that they gave me the opportunity that my own home country didn't. My own home country made me leave. This is the place that my son goes to bed safe and has all the opportunities. How many of you all, the American-born Americans, raise your hands. Okay, I love you all. I love you all. Why? Even though I'm a U.S. citizen and I'm a tax-paying citizen and I've always voted, I view myself as a guest that you all, with open arms, welcomed and brought me here and gave me opportunities. And so whether Trump is in the office or Biden or Obama or whoever else is in the office, it's the people that have made this country what it is. And not a single day goes by without me thanking the universe for this privilege to be here.
Can we just say you're welcome? Like Anthony and I will just say you're welcome for the entire, I was supposed to be funny. I was not trying to actually take credit for the people of the country. I think it's an incredibly inspiring thing because I'll tell you, like, we're sitting in a place where there's a lot of justified criticism and there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of anxiety. And every time I hear you talk about it, I feel good. I feel good because we still do live in a place where somebody like you could show up and be fucking awesome. You could shine and you could not have done that in a row.
No, we are lucky to have the problems we do.
Oh, say that again. That is so powerful.
We are lucky to have these problems, you all. You know, and you just don't know. So I lived in the U.S. I live in the U.S. I've lived in Iran and I've lived in the Southeast Asia for a year. I went on a foreign assignment. And even in Southeast Asia, again, it was there that again I was reminded, my goodness, what an amazing place the United States is and what amazing people that, people that in the United States are. So, yes, I would never tell you, hey, don't worry about it, it's all going to be okay, etc. I think that holding ourselves to the highest standard is an absolute must, and that's what has made us so great. Yeah. So never settle for anything but the absolute best, but know that we're having it pretty good.
I feel like we're at a time where there's so many people and genuinely on both sides of the political aisle that just don't really see the U.S. the way you see it. And it's just like such a refreshing moment just to remember, because we kind of know this. Like, we should know how great of a country we live in, and particularly, and I want to bring this back to the idea of being a founder, because I'm doing my study abroad trip and we're studying the innovation culture in Germany. And there's no such thing as a limited liability company in Germany. It does not exist. Like, we live.
Is there innovation in Germany?
There's tremendous.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry.
There's Porsche,
German
bro.
cars.
BMW, bro. He drives a Ford, so it makes sense. But there's this incredible culture, and I want to ask you about your opinion about that briefly, because we're founders in this room, and we do this work with the idea that if we go out and fail, we don't A, get killed, or B, get saddled with debt for the rest of our lives like in Europe. Like, you're not going to get killed if you fail in Europe, but you're over. You're done. If you fail, I mean, imagine what I would have happened by 5 failed startups, right? Like, it's an amazing culture to do this work, to do this job that we all do.
My uncle started a job that started a thing that if he didn't make it, he'd get killed. That's a whole nother story.
Was his name Tony?
His name was Tony, actually.
Really? I was going to say, is this where we go into the Italian mob joke, or where are we going?
True story.
Really? All right, Tony. Okay, well, Tony. Maybe there's still some dangerous things. All right. Okay, so you go on this path, and this is one of the things, and this is part of the arc, and we brought this up. You are a fierce, and I mean fierce advocate for women in the workplace and women founders, but it's a little bit deeper than that. You are the person who fights for the underdog. You are a voice and somebody who is not afraid to stand up to power in any form or fashion, including calling me out of my bullshit when I have it, and yeah, you're wrong. It's ooh, sorry, right? And you've done that throughout your career. How did you get that way? How you came from this incredibly oppressive environment? Is it because of that environment?
It's because of that. It's because of that. And I was lucky enough that my parents, my mom, my dad, not my mom. my dad taught me to think independently and encouraged me to think independently and challenge authority. He always did that.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom not so much. My
Who was a
mom-
colonel in the Iranian military? The person who shouldn't be the one who's like,
Oh
yeah.
And after the revolution, because all of our rights were stripped, you had to be outspoken. You had to fight and challenge in order to, survive. And even to this day, if you pay attention to what's the biggest opposition group against the Islamic Republic in Iran, it's the women.
His mom's, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the women.
Right.
And also, like, I remember, like, my
They're
mom.
risking prison.
Oh,
and,
yeah, they are going to
and
prison.
death. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yet, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna, like, we're like, oh, I don't like politics. I don't like who gets elected, right? And it's like, I couldn't be
No.
bothered to go, protest with you. Like, it's like, oh, I don't like it. Like, these women are,
Yeah, yeah.
Incredibly brave.
When I saw that my mom, I mean, I didn't see it like my mom coming home and all of that stuff, but I remembered how depressed my mom was for quite some time after she lost her job. And I remember because my mom didn't make, from what she was making, all of a sudden went to zero income. And I remember every Monday, because Monday is the start of the week in Iran, every Monday, my dad would leave a stack of money, basically paper money, on the breakfast table. That would be my mom's allowance for the week to buy food or buy whatever to provide for us, a stack of money, a stack of bills. And I found this thing the most disrespectful, insulting thing, that my dad would leave this money on the table and leave. And I promised myself I would never be in that situation, ever. And so coming to the US and having the freedom to be able to speak up, protecting women's earning potential and helping them, increase their earning potential became like a cause for me.
yeah.
And so that's where it's all started.
I mean, like, we can go down the road of your corporate career, but I'm going to try to sum up, which was speaking truth to power, some of it working out, and some of it not.
Yeah.
And some people being willing to hear that and, like, frankly, sit with a strong, powerful woman,
Correct.
executive, and some people not being able to handle that.
No,
Yeah, including some Colorado companies,
that's correct.
of which
So that was my
which are
last gig.
household names.
That was my last gig. So, corporate, and then the higher I grew, the more I realized I can't really say what's on my mind. I mean, you have to say the party line. You have to represent what the leader believes, and that just didn't sit well with me. So I did my very last gig. It's a company up in Boulder, where I don't think very fondly of
No, he's
of
a
the
douche.
founder.
I know
And
him. He's a
so
douchebag.
He,
Yeah.
So in a
Whisper.
public meeting, he basically shunned a young woman engineer who had written up a piece she had something to say. Anyways, he shunned her and put her to her place. And I just so much like wanted to be just like with you, just being like, you fucking go to. I was very tactful,
Yeah.
so I very tactfully, spoke in support of the woman who had done that. And that was on a Tuesday. And then on Thursday, I was asked to leave the company. So, and that was where I'm like, you know what, I'm done with corporate. It's not serving me anymore. Let's
Yeah.
go somewhere else.
So I think we're fortunate to get you in the founder community. So I'm not going to belabor that point, even though the guy was a douchebag. But the notion then is that then you start off on this journey. And the thing that I know, and I've told you this before, which is this is your cause. you will wake up tomorrow morning thinking about how to help moms show up in the workplace, how to show up with their full attention. And you came to this problem through your experience.
Correct.
Talk about it.
Correct. So, I was the best mom before I became a mom, by the way, you all. You know, like I would dish out advice to all these moms, right?
Let me
about
tell you how to be a good mom.
Oh, yeah. And
It's just
then
like me giving startup advice before I was a founder. Oh, let me tell you how it's done.
I know, isn't that
Right,
awesome?
yeah, exactly.
You've been called mother before, but in different
Yeah, exactly. Usually there's something after. Yeah, right.
So I became a mom, and I quickly realized I needed help in order to maintain my position and responsibilities at work. And to find that help was extremely difficult and painful. I hired and fired 12 people that I can remember, spent thousands of dollars on subscription fees, background checks, thousands of hours trying to interview, line up. You all know what I'm talking about. So I finally found somebody, and her name was Emmy. And she was a godsend, and everything changed for the better, and things just worked. And so when she moved on, at that time I had to make a decision if I want to find someone again to replace her or if I want to solve the problem.
I always imagine Mary Poppins when you say, tell me that story. Like, what, did she look at all like Mary Poppins?
No.
Was she British?
No.
Damn it. God. Could I still pretend that she is?
No.
It's like, oh, damn it. All right. Yeah, she's a real person, so I can't.
She's a real person.
I can't project it.
She's a real person.
Right.
And these are some of the things that I've learned as I've studied. I've gone into just what's happening for moms. So the number one cause of stagnation of earning potential for moms is care responsibilities. Working moms make 79 cents for every dollar their male counterparts make. Women, on average, on the whole, make 82 cents. So that's not all that awesome either.
Yeah, nothing really to brag about.
Working
but-
moms make even less than that, 79 cents. Working moms are 40% more likely to face workplace discrimination than anybody else. And so, it's not about kids. Like, it's not about, oh, it's a bad idea to have kids. No, we should have the right to have a family. But we also have the right to have the same access and opportunities that our counterparts do for growth, for professional growth, and for earnings. So that's my cause, yes.
I think that the piece that when you and I talked about this, it was early, and I was still kind of getting to understand your company. And he said, promotions in corporate America are made when the CEO is flying into town, and he's got a layover and would like to meet with 3 high potential employees.
Correct.
And you're at home making mac and cheese, and you get the call.
Yep.
And the 2 guys go.
Yep.
And the mom skips because she does not have any
Correct.
to
She
call.
doesn't. Who's gonna take care of the kid?
Right.
Or the client just, the client flew in, and you can go and close a big contract now, or you can't find childcare, so you stay home. So what do you think?
Yeah. The thing that, and this is also, I think, a little bit what's different about you is, and I think probably part of this came from your background and your story, is you're like, look, I am angry and pissed off about the fact that it's 84 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
82.
82 cents, excuse me.
Who's counting?
But who's counting? Thank you for that, Anthony. Thank you. But, so 82 cents a dollar. But look, I'm not going to go try to fight that fight and solve that problem, but I can solve this one.
Yeah.
I can solve a problem where one mom or multiple moms, when they get that sales call and they have to show up, they can show up, but it's how we say about showing up and showing up.
Correct.
They can show up. And there's another part of that, which is if your kid is sick, even if they're 10, 12, and you're leaving at home, your mind is there.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to be present.
Correct.
And so it's like, you're like, look, I want to solve this problem. I want to solve the big problem, but it's also a big systemic problem, but I know I can fight this fight and win.
Exactly right, Chris. You know, the big systemic problem is gonna take decades, centuries, maybe. I don't have time to wait decades and centuries, but I can help one mom. I can help 10. I can help 10,000 to win the contract,
Yeah.
to earn the raise, to go for the bigger assignment. I can do that.
Or not have to step out and call the sitter because the kid is sick, and like always have that other mind going. It's like
Correct.
mom's always, multitasking is not an option.
No, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Just to have a moment of peace of mind there.
Correct.
It's an incredibly
Peace of mind.
inspiring story.
Peace of mind.
And so, talk a little bit about the journey with the company. It's not a new company. You've been going now 5 years, 4 years, right?
So it's kind of new.
Yeah, Ford's like, 4 years? Ugh, God, talk to me when you're 20. So, the journey in the company, how's it gone? What are some of the lessons? What's the journey been like, and where are we headed?
Yeah, the journey has been interesting. I mean, there's nothing, you all are founders, right? There's nothing I can tell you that you haven't gone through. You go through the ups and the downs.
Oftentimes the same day.
Exactly, every single day. And experience the highs and lows. I think that, first of all, the best time to start a company in your mind is when you don't know a lot. So don't overthink it. For those of you that are considering starting something, don't overthink it.
Never been a problem for Anthony and I.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's ever claimed, hey, you guys shouldn't overthink that, right? Yeah.
Because trust me, there's plenty of reasons for you not to do it. More reasons for you not to do it than to do it. And so if you overthink it, you'll never do it. So don't overthink it. Get in there. Get it done.
It's a wildly interesting point because there is this, in that moment to jump. Now, you were shoved because you're like working for douchebag fires. You're like, I ain't going back. So you were kind of shoved in this world. You had the idea going around. But there's never a perfect time, is there?
There's never a perfect time.
Particularly for
Perfect
most.
time is now.
Right.
I have a question that I don't know how to ask it without sounding like an asshole.
Well, I mean,
So I'm going to do my very best.
I was going to say it's a short trip. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't really-
So, do you think there's a connection between what you just said and a lack of women founders?
I think it's actually a very astute question. You only sounded a little bit like an asshole.
Good.
So
Okay.
nice job.
I was going for that. Yeah.
I mean, I can give you my opinion.
Please. That's what I'm asking for. Yeah.
Data. My opinion is yes.
Why?
Because we as women are conditioned to think about much more than ourselves. We think about the responsibility associated with our family, the image, parents, the aunts, the friends, et cetera, et cetera. And so we have the propensity to talk ourselves out of things because of everything that we have to shoulder more often than our male counterparts. That's an opinion, that's not a fact. But I mean, it could be a fact, but it's my opinion. It's
We'll just call it a fact. Like, I think
Sure,
we now,
let's call it a fact.
we now know that to be true. So back to the question, tell us a little bit about the journey. So ups and downs.
Ups and downs, left and right. It's par for the course. So, but I truly believe that if you're passionate about the cause, if you're passionate about your idea, you will find a way if you just stick with it and be resourceful, have agency.
Right.
We've run out of cash in the past 12 months at least 4 times, at least.
It's so nuts. And all the founders in the room are like, yeah, get it. Like,
Yeah.
if you said that to a normal person, they'd be like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, yeah, it's just, 4 times.
Four
Yeah.
times in a year is pretty good.
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Not bad.
And so you'll figure it out, you will figure it out if you have the tenacity and the agency to figure it out. And Paul, what's his name? Paul Graham, I think,
Yeah,
the YC.
the
He
YC.
also said, if you stick with it long enough, it'll succeed. Now, it's up to you, how do you define success, right?
Yeah.
But if you stick with it long enough, it'll succeed, and that's my motto. So, the question that I was asking, right now, this is what's happening in my world, we are a supply and demand platform, right? So all of the supply part, they're independent contractors, just like Uber. Otherwise, the business will not work. Okay, we got some disgruntled service provider 4 years ago, year one of my business, going to Colorado Department of Labor and saying that they should be an employee. So we've been under audit for 4 fucking years with Colorado Department of Labor. Yeah.
Again, I laugh because the normal human would hear that and be like, nope, I'm good. I'm out. And you're like, sweet, let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
Let's get after it.
So there's that. There's the whole cash running out. Nobody in my company has been getting paid ever because, it's a bootstrap company. So we have not had institutional capital to pay anybody, including myself. So finally, my CTO, my VP of design was like, hey, Arezou, sorry, but I got to go earn money. And my CTO also is like, sorry, but I got to go earn money. Our biggest customers are not coming back for reasons that are completely outside of our control, So we've lost, probably since the beginning of the year, we've lost close to $100,000 of contract value. And, I was asking the question, of the team earlier that, hey, do I want to keep going and do I want to, or do I want to call it good? And no, I want to keep going. So, thank you.
And Anthony, I think it was like our second ever episode that we did with How to Founder, but there's this idea, and it is so, like, you are the personification of the noble cause.
Oh, thank you.
Of this
It's
thing.
our first episode.
Yeah. So it's like this idea about with founders, and I want to get your take and then advice for other founders. And there's several of y'all that I met that are aspiring founders and are sitting in this place at the quantum field of possibility, right? Of how, if Call ME fails, you're not going to stop trying to solve this problem, right? If the business fails, that's who you are. Like that is. You might go try to solve it a different way or with a different spin, but you're going to get up the day after a company, and it's not going to fail, but I'm just using this as an example. You're going to get up and start solving this problem again, and then you're going to solve it again, and it might be your 5th company, your 20th company, or it might be a nonprofit, or it might be some other thing, but you're going to continue to go after this problem. And that is a level of tenacity and grit that you embody because of this noble cause. It is outrageously inspiring.
Thank you.
And again, you don't give yourself enough credit on this. We always say we don't give each other enough credit. But it is one of the most impressive, like there's a ton of impressive things about you, but this is who you are. It's part of your core.
Call ME will only fail if I quit.
Right.
And I'm not gonna.
Fucking love that. That is so amazing. And I mean, so I was purposely trying to skate over this. Go ahead.
One quick thing. We're 75 episodes into our podcast.
Yeah.
And this is a question that comes up quite a bit, no matter what our topic is. When should a founder say enough's enough? And there's no answer to that.
It's a great
Because
question.
it's so personal. If you have a noble cause that you're so passionate about, your answer is never.
Yeah.
I'm getting Mel Gibson in my head going freedom. And
Yeah. But like
but some folks, it's like you should have quit 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and I try to remind founders that they're not their company and all that other stuff. In this case, I can't.
You can't.
Because you are your company.
Yeah.
And like you've gone through Cottonwood's 21 years old. It's been the first company organization you started, right? But also, there's been a lot of things that you've done down through the road. Like, there's been wiggle room, but the noble cause is the noble cause.
There's been a lot of points where you're like, should I keep doing this?
Yeah.
And then you come back to like, what's the alternative? And I've got my dream job, and I'm doing something I'm really passionate about. It's purpose-driven work. Why would I go do something else?
Right.
No, I'm gonna figure it
Yeah. It's like, another zero on the paycheck might be nice, but, right.
Paycheck might be nice.
Yeah, paycheck. What is this thing you call? What is this thing you call paycheck, Anthony? I'm not familiar with that concept. I've been dominating a lot of the conversation. I want to just go one more thing. I want to give you guys an opportunity. I know we're already kind of over time, but the one other piece is like this is a hard time for the company, but also I sense it and I know it. It's just the next step. You have this unbelievable ability to reframe. We talked about it today at Thunderbird. Like, that ability to look at this problem and be like, okay, this really sucks. And it does. Like, you've gone through a tough couple weeks. And then you reframed. And, like, how do you do that? That is a remarkable thing. Or is it something you could teach or even talk about?
I think for me, it's a matter of asking myself, have I done everything there is to do? And if the answer is no, and if there's, like, not necessarily like, have I given it all not that, but have I tried all the strategies that I need to have tried? And if the answer is no, then I need to go try those strategies. So in my case, right now, I know, and this is like, again, hindsight is 2020. Last year, I focused 100% on operations. Make sure we have 100% fulfillment rate for every single booking. Make sure that we have a less than, if we have a less than 4.5 rating, we're awful, et cetera, et cetera. So we did it amazingly last year, right? For a bootstrap company, we grew year over year. Our average rating is 4.9. Our fulfillment rate, meaning for every booking,
You skip over that. Hang on a second. How many bookings have you done?
Throughout the life,
Yeah.
over 5,000.
Over 5,000 bookings, and
yeah.
you have a 4.9 star rating.
Rating.
That's impossible.
It's like impossible. Like, that deserves a round of applause,
Yeah.
people.
I mean, if you see our unit economics, you'll be blown away.
And the other thing is that and this is part of the reframe. You just went over $1 million in revenue
Yeah.
this year,
No, less.
last year.
Yes.
Excuse me. So
24.
you're already over $1 million in revenue. It's like, this is, even though you're sitting in a tough spot at this exact moment, there's a lot to be proud of.
Thank you.
Or do you give yourself that credit? Like, it's
No.
super hard that we don't do that as founders, right?
We don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when I go, Anthony, I'm proud of this. He's like, you shouldn't be.
You shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
You're not unusual. You're not unique in that way. Unique in a lot of ways, but that way founders struggle to
I
feel
just
success.
don't want my last chapter in this company isn't this chapter,
Yeah.
and I'm yet to author it. So I'm not ready.
Like, I know that we'll try not to get overly geeky and researchy on you, but there's an entire concept called narrative psychology, and it's exactly that, which is, it's about when the chapter breaks are. That's it.
Yeah.
And so, you tell the story where it started a company, and it sucked, and it failed. That's the end of the book. It's a really depressing book. But if the next chapter is, I started another company that sold it, it's a good story. There's a narrative arc, right? And so it's that idea, but you're able to do that in really profound ways. All right, I know we've got, I've really dominated the conversation. What do y'all, I know, weird that
Arezou, what do you need?
how can we help?
Yeah, so, one of the ways, thank you for asking that. One of the ways that we get immediate cash infusion into our company is through on-site childcare for events and conferences. So fundraisers, galas, conventions, etc.
Does
And
anybody
we
know
do-
a fundraiser coming up?
Yeah, we do, the state of Colorado is our customer. We do childcare on site for their annual judicial
I've got a lead
convention
for you.
that all of their judges go to.
Also,
I mean,
how fucked up is it that they're also auditing you?
it's
Thank
a
you, state of
different-
Colorado.
It's Colorado
Appreciate
Department
that.
of Labor versus
Yeah.
Colorado
I
Judicial
know, but it's also,
arm.
yeah.
But
it's-
yeah,
it's
I
weird.
mean, the Supreme Court of Colorado's Supreme Justice has endorsed us. I mean, seriously, it's our
That
client.
is awesome.
You know, so conventions, events, fundraisers.
events,
Yes,
yeah.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
And also, just give the website to people that
Need
like,
the-
and particularly moms.
Individuals can.
Yeah, individuals as well. If anybody has contact to, with Wealthy, WELLTHY, it's a B round startup. I would love that contact too.
They misspelled their name.
This is a forest for the trees. Can you give a 30-second explanation of what your company is?
We are a double-sided marketplace that connects curated and professional sitters to any booker.
So a mom can call
And
a
mom,
sitter.
a mom can call, we're Uber for sitters.
But the other piece of it is that there is so much stuff that goes behind it. And I do think you've gotten the pitch down. Like, you can't talk about the blue check mark for babysitters. Background checked,
Oh, shit.
vetted, like deeply vetted,
Oh, deeply
deeply
vetted.
experienced. So,
We find all the closets, all the skeletons in the closets, all of them.
Are you still fundraising?
No, I put it on hold because I want to grow the company and then go back on.
yeah, because also fuck them. Go ahead.
How do you prevent a situation where, say they like your sitter, and then they go directly and never get revenue again, and then the sitter no longer needs?
Yeah, disintermediation.
Repeat the question for the.
The question is, how do you prevent a situation where the provider goes offline and make their deals with the booker? As a marketplace, you can't. It's a part of every double-sided marketplace, but we mitigate it in a variety of ways. One is that we provide the benefits to the sitters so that they don't do that. Because babysitting is not the only thing they can do on our platform. They can also do household chores. They can also get access to events and conferences. So we try to prevent them from doing that. Also, they get guaranteed payment in the case of cancellation. So, and the number one issue that generally direct, service providers have with bookers is payment, because the booker forgets to pay. Oh, I'll Venmo you tomorrow, or I'll pay you cash. So, but it's not possible to 100% prevent it.
You guys remember Tony, Anthony's cousin? Your uncle? That's how we handle that, if you know what I'm saying.
But really, the best way is through the loyalty that we build with our sitters. I mean, we have a lot of loyalty with them.
And being their independent contractors, if something goes wrong, like say they drop a kid and the kid gets injured, is there liability coming back to you because you referred them, or?
No, we, basically, this is a direct relationship with the parent and the sitter, and we're just the matchmaker.
Yeah.
So,
Same Uber, right?
Uber,
Yeah.
same Lyft, same DoorDash, same. Like DoorDash, if, they drop the food off at the person's house and the person gets poisoned, it's not the driver, it's not the dasher that's responsible.
Yeah. Good question. Yes, sir.
Immigration. How does potential for restricted immigration affect your supply of?
Yeah, do you have particular?
I grew up I raised kids in New York City where, in fact, all of the nannies were undocumented. So how does that play into your?
Question was, how is the immigration stance
Yeah,
hurt your supply?
it doesn't, because they have to have legal status so that we can background check them.
But I mean, again, people's legal status is being revoked and stuff like that. So how does that affect your long-term view of your labor supply?
Yeah. Again, our labor supply, by and large, are knowledge workers. You'd be surprised. But we have medical students, we have project managers, educators. Yeah. So it hasn't been an issue. Yeah.
And it is just a legend that Anthony is undocumented, all right? It's a legend. I thought it was funny. Anyway, other questions? Yeah.
Back here.
Thank you. And I really love your purpose about helping moms to shine. And on the other side, what do you do for the nannies or for the cities?
Yeah.
How is working there? Because there are, I think, a huge percentage are women.
Correct. That's a great question. So, we're very, very transparent with our payment. So, for every dollar that we get, 70% goes to them and 30% comes to us. And that is the highest in any marketplace industry. And our average price is actually higher than, what other platforms command. But I will tell you that, we have been told that because of the gigs that these nannies, these sitters get on our platform, they've been able to save for a vacation they've always wanted to. They've been able to upgrade their car. They've been able to upgrade their house. They've been able to put money aside for their kids. We never have a complaint about income. So we're not only, in fact, we've heard from one case that the person says, "You've changed my life," So it is allowing these other, service providers to have higher income because of the side gigs that they get, as well as the help of them for the moms.
I want to ask one more question, if you guys wouldn't mind me letting me take the last one, which is, I don't think they have a choice. But I'm struck because you're just such the perfect person to ask
I need
this.
to hire you as my
Let's
publicist.
just, I'm looking for a job, Arezou. This gig ain't paying that great, This turns out how to founder.
He's not cheap, but he is easy.
That's true. What would you say to young female aspiring entrepreneurs? Like, what is the message that you can deliver? And I know it's one of those big questions, like, follow your dreams. But I do think that you're in such a unique position because you've dedicated your life to this, and you are just a badass founder. You do this work, and you go out and fight the fight, and you're amazing at it.
Thank you.
What's the advice? Like, what do you think is the right thing for female founders, even aspiring female founders? How should they be framing up this job?
Well, I will say that, again, if you want to be a founder, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if there's an idea that keeps you, that doesn't leave you alone, I mean, that's the test.
The 2 a.m. test?
Yeah. Today is the day. It's not tomorrow. It's not when, blah, blah, blah. It's today. Today is your day. And you are in the best possible country to be able to launch your idea, test it, grow it, pivot it, do whatever it is you want. It's a blessing that you live in the United States.
And it's the best possible time.
It's the best possible time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's
right.
never been a better time in history to start companies.
Correct.
Yeah.
It won't be easy, but because it's not easy, today is the day. It will not get any easier with time. In fact, it'll get harder with time. So do it today. Give it your all. If it turns out to be not the right decision, you'll make a different decision.
Right.
Okay?
It turns out nobody takes away your work card like in Iran. Like, you get to go back to work.
Correct.
Yeah.
Exactly. You will get a million no's, and that's the job of the world, to tell you that's a bad idea, don't do it, you're not good at it. By the way, your own, I'm borrowing this from one of my friends, she calls it the itty bitty shitty committee, which is the voices in your head. The voices in your head, your itty bitty shitty committee will also try to dissuade you
I'm
from
stealing
doing
that.
your
That is
thing.
so great.
Yeah. Let them do their jobs. That's what they're doing. They're loving you. They want to save you. They want to protect you. Let them do your job. Do their job. That's their fucking job, not yours.
Yeah.
Don't
But-
join them.
But also, like, you knew, and in this case, the advice you're giving is that they can talk all they want. You're destined for something bigger.
Yeah.
You know you can do it.
If you know that that's your thing, you know it in your heart of hearts, then go for it.
Yeah. You were not put on this earth to be ordinary.
Correct.
You were not, right?
I don't know if I would say that. But
I don't know that anybody having heard your story could call you ordinary. I think you would be extraordinary.
I think
in every
everybody
sense of
is
the word.
extraordinary in their own way. I think that we all have a purpose and we all have a cause. And yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God, that's the first. That's
And, and for me, really, the wake-up call was, when I was like contemplating, do I solve this problem? Do I go back to corporate? Blah, blah, blah. My big deciding factor was I asked myself the question, if not now, then when? I am 49 years old. If not now, then when? And there you go. The rest is history.
Where can our listeners find you, learn more about, what's the name of the company again, just so we have it?
Call Emmy.
Call Emmy.
Weird.
Up
That's
there?
funny. That's,
Oh, it's right there. It needs to be bigger. You need to make the logo bigger. And where
says the designer. Make it
that
bigger.
was a joke. That was
No,
a
no,
joke.
it is pretty
That was a
good.
joke.
Yeah, it is good.
And where can we find you?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter. LinkedIn and Twitter.
I will also say, like, pick up your phones and connect with her on LinkedIn. You will not be disappointed.
Oh,
You have your posts. Like, I purposely didn't ask you about your dad because I might start crying. Like, I don't want to. Like, I didn't even
My
want to
dad
broach the
was
subject.
awesome.
Yeah, and just passed away a couple years ago. Yeah. On that happy note, let's call that a night. Arezou, thank you so much for joining us. I know I didn't get to all the questions, and y'all have about 16 beers a piece.